The Anna C. Minch. The Anna was a cargo carrier, a bulk freighter type. She had a tonnage of 4,285 tons, a length of 380 feet, a beam of 50 feet, and a height of 28 feet. She also had for propulsion a triple expansion steam engine, and her crew was around 24. The Anna was built in 1903 by the American Shipbuilding Company, and she was operated by the Kingsman Transit Company of Cleveland, Ohio. Throughout the Anna's ship history on the Great Lakes, she suffered through multiple collisions and damage to her. On April 12, 1907, the Anna was struck by the steamer Harvey D. Golder while at the Cargill Grain Elevator in Superior, Wisconsin, suffering around $2,000 in damages. On September 30th, 1915, she struck the south end of a bridge on the Erie Avenue Bridge Pier. The Anna collided with the steamer Charles M. Warner on Lake St. Clair and suffered severe bow damage. On November 6, 1916, she was again struck by the steamer Steel King on November 18, 1917, while moored at the dock at Toledo, Ohio, suffering starboard bow damage. Her mooring was damaged from Cleveland, Ohio breakwall when she was struck by the steamers Matthew Andrews and Philip Minch on February 26, 1918. And yet again, the Anna was struck by the steamer Harry W. Croft at Buffalo, New York on October 20th, 1920. There are also several other incidents of her again being struck or colliding with other ships. The most disastrous day in the history of Lake Michigan shipping was the Armistice Day, now Veterans Day, November 11th, 1940. It started with 75-mile-an-hour winds and 20-foot waves. These seas raged with the storm, and it destroyed 3 ships and claimed the lives of some 59 seamen that day. 2 freighters sank with all hands, and a third, the Novadoc, also ran aground with the loss of 2 crew members. Bodies throughout the day and night washed ashore, and as night fell, a heavy snowstorm arrived. The Anna C. Minch was one of the ships that was destroyed in the storm and sank. There are some theories that say that the Anna collided with the William B. Davik, and this would certainly explain these theories as to why the ships sank so close to each other. However, there is evidence that suggests that the ships were ultimately overwhelmed by the storm and the size of the waves. When the Anna sank, she took all 24 members of her crew with her, and they were lost. The ship sank around 1.5 miles south of Pentwater, Michigan, and no bodies were ever recovered from the Anna. However, other bodies from other ships washed ashore. What exactly was this blizzard, this Armistice Day Blizzard of 1940? This was an intense early season panhandle hook winter storm, and it cut around a 1,000-mile wide radius swath across the country from Kansas to Michigan. On November 7th, 1940, the low-pressure system that had later developed into a massive winter blizzard was affecting the Pacific Northwest and produced gales around 40 miles an hour. These winds destroyed the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, and on November 10th, the fast-moving storm crossed the Rocky Mountains, and in just 2 hours, it was on its way to the Midwest. On the morning of November 11th, 1940, this brought an unseasonably high temperature in the upper Midwest, and by the afternoon, temperatures approached 65 degrees. This was over most of the affected region. However, as the day continued on, the conditions of the storm quickly deteriorated. Severe weather was reported across much of the Midwest, and with heavy rain and snow and a tornado and gale-force winds that were all reported during this Armistice storm. The temperatures dropped sharply and winds picked up. Rain followed, then sleet, and finally snow began to fall. This intense low-pressure system tracked from the southern plains northeastward into western Wisconsin, pulling the Gulf of Mexico moisture up from the south and pulling down a cold Arctic air mass from the north. This resulted in what we had for the worst blizzard in Lake Michigan, sinking ships and causing mass devastation. At the time of the Anna sinking, she was carrying a load of hardwood lumber when she was caught in the Armistice Day Blizzard. She broke in two and sank during the storm. Captain Donald Kennedy and the remaining 23 crew members again were all lost, and no bodies from the Anna were ever recovered. Well, I think it's pretty clear what happened to the Anna C. Minch. Whether or not she collided with the William B. Davik, which caused her sinking, and her breaking up on two, is a very intriguing theory that may have happened, although it may not have happened. Either way, the storm was severe, horrible winter storm blizzard that sank her, and the three other ships as well. Man, what a terrible thing to get caught in, and again, it's not uncommon for these freighters and steel ships to be caught in these blizzards, horrible conditions, especially just right off the blue like that. Like many of these ships go off and then, the weather is fair throughout the day, and then it's just amazing how quickly these storms can form over the Great Lakes and cause the 20 to 30 feet high waves and wind, hurricane levels of wind at times. But yeah, that will do it for the story of the Anna C. Minch. I'm interested to know what you guys think. You probably have some more information on her as well, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down below, especially with her service history, with how many times she collided with other ships or got hit by them, and just the damage to her hull and rudder and stuff like that. Sounds like this ship was not off to a great start, but she weathered it as long as she could, and again, this a very sad story that all 24 members of the crew of her went down with her, and I do hope this video gives a shred of honor and respect to them. But yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comments again, and thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Songs of the Great Lakes. I hope you all are having an amazing weekend, and very much look forward to the next ship video. God bless you all, and I will see you again on the next story.